Hello friends, this is Jess from J Rose Alchemic Art, back with another video today. This one is actually going to be a little bit different, where we're going to talk about art goals of 2024. I had some very small ones for 2023. I was hoping to at least finish my first sketchbook. Didn't quite get to it all the way, but it'll continue on until 24, so it's totally fine. And I did get into polymer clay making, which is something I never imagined that I would at first, but I've been having a lot of fun with it so far, as you can see from my feed on YouTube and Instagram and everywhere else. So I hope you guys have been enjoying that journey as well. But we're gonna go ahead and get started and talk about some of the things that I would like to do with my own art and my business, and going with there. Also, PSA, if you haven't gotten your water bottle yet, this is mine for today, or any other kind of cozy drink, coffee, tea, whatever it might be. Go ahead and grab that now so that we can settle in and talk. So yes, I do have a small little guide on my goals of 2024 that I will probably be referring to. Just something quick that I wrote up so that way I kind of know what I want to do for the rest of the coming year. I will probably include this in my sketchbook because that's going to be one of my goals for the year, but lots of different things that I want to try out hopefully this year. So first thing that we're going to talk about is illustrations. So if you don't know, I have been creating a world called Spookfall Hollow since 2020, actually, kind of when I first started getting into art. And I have made little characters for it. If you haven't already seen like my ghost characters, Princess Lucy and Luna, Midnight the Ghost Cat, there's lots of them. So I have kind of been slacking a little bit on personal art making with my illustrations. I have been focusing more on like sketchbook work and like clay making. So I'm really hoping to get back into that this year and just create fun little side stories and interesting worlds that we can all explore together. I did get into it a little bit with the art challenge that I took part in October, and it was called Once Upon a Haunted Forest. We got to see the journey of Princess Lucy and Midnight as they were going to a hidden part that we have not quite explored yet. So if you haven't already seen the illustrations for that, you should definitely check it out because I think they're pretty fun. But yes, definitely a big art goal for me for this year. I really enjoy drawing. I just have not had a lot of time to like sit down and kind of focus on what I want to draw. Lots of sketches. The next part of our goal is going to be completing my sketchbook. So I have my handy dandy sketchbook here. I'm actually really proud of how much I have gotten through it. If you don't know me, I actually draw really small a lot of the time. I don't know what it is. Whenever I try to draw big, I feel like I'm more clunky with the precision and the details and things like that. So I just prefer to draw smaller, either with my illustrations and with my sketches. So I am actually very proud of like the things that I have gotten through this year. There's lots of little things in here, ideas for like illustrations, October art prompt challenges, clay ideas, lots of stuff. So I did make it about a third of the way through my sketchbook, which honestly, that's probably the longest I've ever made it through an entire sketchbook. So very proud of myself for that. I can't say that I'm unhappy that I didn't finish. I mean, obviously I wanted to finish it, but I am happy that I have made it so far along in this one. So obviously this is also another big goal for me, is I really hope to finish at least this sketchbook in the coming year. Will it happen? Who knows? But you know, art goals for the win, yes. Another thing that I am really hoping to work on in this coming year, which if you, again, haven't seen some of my previous work, is working on some more elaborate like clay projects. So again, when October came around and I was doing that Once Upon a Haunted Forest challenge, I was creating a lot of detailed illustrations and what have you. And I decided I kind of wanted to create little clay projects that went along with it. So I thought that would be really fun to include. So for example, like my little clay crypt here, I really enjoyed making this. This was so much fun to like design the actual crypt, add all the little details, the ghost, the graveyard, all that stuff. So much fun. I really enjoyed it. But I am hoping that I can make more not extreme necessarily, more detailed clay projects like this that are a little bit bigger, because as much as I love like my little desk friends, they're so cute, and I enjoy doing these, but I have so much fun creating the more detailed pieces as well. So if you'd be interested in like seeing more of those detailed clay projects, maybe send me a comment down below and let me know like what other things I should try to make. Always interested to see what you guys think of my work. Okay, another big art goal for the year is that I would really like to make some different apparel for my shop. So I got a laminator and I've used it for a few things, but I am really hoping that I can maybe start working on bookmarks this year. I have a couple ideas for illustrations, and actually, I think I have it here in my sketchbook. Yes, here at the back here. I really like the idea here of Can't Stop Reading Now, with this little ghost that he's just kind of hanging out and enjoying his time in the graveyard. And one of the gravestones is going to stay on to my next story because I like that idea. A little bit reminiscent of Final Fantasy X. If you don't know the premise, you should look into it. It's a great game. But anyway, I really think that it'll be fun to create little illustrations like that and then include them in bookmarks. I am a big reader myself. If I get really caught up in a book, I can just spend like a whole day or two just until I finish it if I'm like that invested in the story. So obviously, for a long time I did not use bookmarks, and it was really hard to figure out again where I was in the story. So obviously I think that would be great for myself, but also other readers who may have the same problems. And bookmarks are just fun anyway. If they have something like cute on it, or just like a ribbon, maybe not a ribbon because my cats really enjoy ribbons and they've torn a lot of my bookmarks apart, but that's okay. So my bookmarks will probably not have ribbons or like anything dangly on them, but who knows, maybe in the future. Another big thing that I would like to work on as far as apparel is probably like a tote bag design, or possibly even like more t-shirts and sweatshirt designs. I have designed actually a couple of t-shirts and one sweatshirt technically, and they were really fun. I really enjoyed the process, and they're actually up on a website that is linked in my Instagram. So if you look at my link tree, you'll be able to find it there, and they are still available. But I would really like to create like more t-shirt designs or sweatshirts, and maybe be able to like bring them to conventions and what have you, like make them in-house and then bring them, because a lot of conventions and things like that, art markets, sometimes they're okay with if you like have brought things that, as long as you've designed them yourself, you know, it's fine. And others that include one of the conventions I'm actually going to be having next weekend, they're like, no, everything has to be handmade, unless you're a dealer, and then obviously you can have it printed like with another company or whatever, and that's okay to sell that way. So totally fine, completely understand that, but that's why I think it would be kind of interesting to be able to make those myself and then kind of just learn more about that process as well. So definitely they're probably going to be like spooky cute designs, maybe something with florals. We'll kind of see how it goes, obviously, but lots of ideas that I have in my mind. I just actually have to get it drawn out on paper or on my iPad, so look forward to that as well. Another one of my big art goals for the year is to actually complete some illustrations for a children's book that I have been asked to partake in. I am very excited for this. If you haven't seen one of my earlier vlogs, I think I talked about it and actually shared like one of the ideas that I have for it. So I am excited for it. I am a little bit intimidated and nervous because it involves drawing people. And if you haven't noticed, I draw a lot of ghost characters, animals, things like that, not necessarily people very much. So I definitely need to improve on my people drawing skills, obviously, and, you know, come up with some fun ideas for that, because I think it's a good story. I'm very interested in sharing that with the world, but yeah, just gotta be a little more courageous and work on my people drawing skills. So again, if you have any tips or words of encouragement, it might be needed because I'm still pretty nervous about it, but it'll be okay. We'll get through it. Okay. So one of my probably last big art goals for the year is going to be to actually update my shop. So I do update my shop pretty frequently whenever I come up with like some new stickers or clay projects or things like that, and I add them to the shop. Usually I do it after a convention or an art market lately, but I do want to like maybe update some of the images, like the illustrations and things on there, maybe include like a little portfolio so people, if they're interested, can see some of my work as far as like the more detailed illustrations, the clay projects that I've worked on, maybe have a commission side of it. I don't know if anyone would actually be interested in it, but it could be fun. So yeah, things like that are probably some of the little things that I'll be working on with the shop, as well as I actually purchased a ring light finally, so I can have some brighter pictures hopefully that will maybe make some of the stickers and art prints and clay items, make them a little bit brighter, so hopefully they look a little more appealing when you look at them on the shop. So for right now, those are my big art goals of 2024, but I figured I'd also talk about like really big ones, like in the future, for J. Rose Alchemic Art. I think this would be cool to do. If I will ever actually get to them, who knows, but we'll see, it's fine. One of the bigger things that I've always thought about, I'm not sure if I would necessarily do it just because it does take a lot of extra time and effort, which along with working my full-time job, doing this on the side, it does keep me pretty busy, but maybe sometime in the future, if things will allow, a Patreon I think would be really cool. I really like the idea of offering like different benefits to people who do like to support my work, so whether it be like doing a monthly podcast or something, or you know, making like a sticker and an art print every month, or maybe making like a clay pin or something, and all those things, you know, would be shipped out every month to people that would pledge for as such. But obviously that is a big dream, probably like a few years down the line, but if you would ever be interested in that, let me know, because I think that would be really cool. Another big goal that I have would be to like vend at a bigger convention. So I have obviously taken part in some smaller conventions that are kind of around the area that I live in currently, as well as art markets, but I think it would be really cool someday to be able to vend at a bigger one. So Chicago, Los Angeles, wherever, you know, some of the bigger conventions that, you know, they have a bigger attendance, so I think it'd just be cool to like be able to meet a bunch of people, hopefully share in our shared interests, and yeah, just have a lot of fun with that. I'm not sure that I'll ever quite be to that point because one, it is more expensive, you're probably traveling, so again, all these things kind of add up, and also having enough product. So what is kind of nice about being at my smaller conventions is that I don't have to pack nearly as much as I would if it was like a bigger attendance with like a bigger convention. So things to consider. Again, will it ever happen? Who knows? I was gonna say you never know with the future, but an idea at least all the same. And then another one of my like final big art goals for in the future, who knows when it'll happen, is just learning how to paint properly. I have tried my hand at like watercolors, acrylics. I haven't really tried gouache too much, and like with ink. So I am, again, kind of like with drawing with people, I'm a little intimidated by it because I've never learned how to properly do it before. I have seen plenty of people like draw on YouTube or paint on YouTube, obviously, but doing it myself is a whole different matter, obviously. A lot of times I will stick to like what is comfortable for me and go back to like my comfort area of, you know, sketching with pencils, colored pencils, on the iPad, things like that. But obviously trying new things is exciting and always fun in the first place, so even if you do kind of fail at first, it's the process of going through it and at least making the effort and trying. seeing how your skills improve. It's really exciting, obviously. When I first started drawing on my iPad, I had no idea what I was doing. There were so many different brushes, things that you had to like figure out how to use, how to erase, make things smudge, well, lots of things. But I have really noticed when I first started making my art, it's very different. So even if you look at my character Lucy, when I first drew her, she was pretty simple, didn't have a whole lot of details. You could tell it was more like block, almost drawing, and I was using a different brush at the time. Whereas compared to how she is now, she's a little bit more detailed, a lot more like shaped properly, and a lot of the colors are a lot more vibrant, I feel like. But, oh, hello, Buffy. He's coming to say hi as well. But yes, so I think in the process of that, it'll be a good experience to at least try it, see how it goes, and continue to progress in my skills, because, you know, art is supposed to be a fun medium to come back to, even if you're not the best at it, as long as you enjoy it. And I think that's with most hobbies, then I think that it can be a good thing. Alrighty, well, I believe I have talked enough. I hope that you enjoyed listening to some of my planned art goals for the next year and maybe in coming years. I had a lot of fun at least coming up and thinking about, yeah, what do I want to do with my business and my art goals for the next few years. So if you want to, if you enjoy videos like this or would like to see more of my work and my art journey, go ahead and follow along by subscribing. Like the video if you did enjoy watching it. And then please, yeah, do let me know, like, what are your planned art goals for the future? Are they going to be more like making your own products, opening your own shop, working with polymer clay, drawing, lots of things. There's so many different mediums that you can try with art, so I'm really interested in seeing how you also are invested in it. So until next time though, friends, I hope that you have a wonderful day.